He left no tip, but what she found under that empty plate destroyed everything she believed about him. A single note, a hidden truth, and a secret that should have never been revealed. Because the man she once saw as a rude millionaire was actually connected to her past in a way she could never imagine. But here is the real shock. That night wasn't random, and neither was she. Stay till the end, because the truth behind that no tip moment will completely change how you see success, betrayal, and love. I remember the way her hands trembled when she picked up my plate. A long shift, heavy eyes, a forced smile that kept breaking at the edges. I saw myself in that silence. Years ago, I was the man no one noticed, sleeping in a storage room that smelled of dust and rust, counting coins like they were oxygen. I had trusted a partner once. He took everything, left me with debt, and a name people whispered about with pity. Failure has a sound. It is quiet, like hunger at midnight. Then she found me, not in a grand moment, but in a small cafe. When I could not afford the coffee I ordered, she paid, without asking questions. A single mother, with tired eyes, and a strength that felt like sunlight through broken glass. She said, "Dignity is not something you lose. It is something you forget." That sentence rebuilt me, brick by brick, day by day. Through rejection, humiliation, endless work, I rose. Not quickly, not cleanly, but honestly. Years later, I sat across from her again. She did not recognize me. Time had changed my clothes, my posture, my name in the world, but not my memory. So I left no tip. I walked out, feeling her confusion behind me, like a weight I deserved, because what I left instead was hidden beneath the plate, a folded note, and something far greater. Inside it were words she once gave me, and a key to a company worth billions. But as she opened it and read the first line, her hands began to shake again, because the note did not start with gratitude. It began with a truth she was never meant to face. "Everything you believed about that night was a lie." Her breath caught. I saw it from across the street, through the glass, through years of distance. She read it again, slower this time, as if the words might change if her heart refused them. I remembered that night, rain hitting the windows like restless fingers, her son asleep in the back room, wrapped in a thin blanket, and me, broken, ashamed, a man who had just lost everything. I had told her the truth then, or what I thought was truth. That man ruined me. She believed me, without doubt, without question. She stood beside me when no one else would. But belief can be dangerous when it is built on half a story. The note trembled in her hands, ink pressed deep into paper. The man who betrayed me was not alone. A pause, a silence so sharp, it felt like it could cut through years. Cars moved behind me. People passed. Life continued. But in that moment, everything stood still, because she kept reading. And neither was I innocent. I closed my eyes. The weight of success has a way of returning you to the place you tried to bury. I had built empires, signed deals worth more than dreams. Yet this was the debt I never paid. Inside the envelope, beneath the note, was a contract. Her name printed clearly. Ownership. Half of everything I built. Not as a gift, but as truth, as consequence, as something long overdue. Across the street, she stepped back, her shoulders shaking, not from joy, not from relief, but from something deeper, something heavier, because at the bottom of the note, There was one final line. A line I never had the courage to say aloud. I did not just lose everything that night. I chose to lose you too. She looked up, searching, and for the first time, our eyes met again. But instead of recognition, there was something else. Something I had never seen in her before. A question and a pain that told me she already knew more than I had written. She stepped outside. The door chimed softly, yet it sounded like judgment. Her eyes did not leave mine. Not anger. Not yet. Something quieter. More dangerous. Truth rising. You lied, she said. No tremor now. Only steel wrapped in hurt. I felt it. Every mile I ran from this moment collapsed into a single breath. I hid, I answered, because excuses sounded small against what I had taken from her. The wind carried the scent of rain again, as if time had circled back to that same night. You said he destroyed you, she whispered. He did, I said, and I helped him do it. Silence. A passing car. A distant horn. But between us, only the past speaking. I signed the papers, I continued. My greed, my fear. I ignored the warning signs. Her jaw tightened. And me? That word. So simple. So unbearable. I used your faith as shelter, I said. The truth burned cleaner than any lie. I stayed because you believed in me, not because I had earned it. Her eyes filled. Not weakness. Never that. But the cost of giving your heart to someone who was still running from himself. I built everything, I said, but every step forward carried your voice. She looked down at the contract. Her name, beside mine, a life rewritten, in ink and regret. I do not want your money, she said quietly. I know, I replied. That is why I brought something else. From my pocket, another envelope, smaller, worn at the edges. She hesitated, then took it. Inside, a photograph, faded, creased. Her, standing beside me in that old cafe, smiling, before everything broke. Behind it, a date, circled, the night I disappeared. Her fingers froze, because beneath the date were words she had never seen, words written years ago, but never sent. I did not leave because I lost everything. I left because I found out who you really were that night. Her breath stopped. The air between us shifted, because now, the truth was no longer mine to confess. It was hers to reveal. Her fingers tightened around the photograph. For the first time, she looked away. Not from me. From the past. You were not supposed to know, she said. Her voice was softer now, but heavier, like a door opening that had stayed locked for years. The rain began again, light at first, then steady. I saw the papers before you signed them, she continued, each word careful, measured. I knew your partner was lying. My chest tightened. You knew? She nodded slowly. I went to warn you that night. The memory shifted. The cafe. The dim light. Her silence. I stood outside your room. Heard everything. Her breath trembled. You were desperate, afraid, willing to risk everything. A pause. I realized then you would not listen to me. That cut deeper than betrayal. Because it was true. I thought if you lost it all, you would learn. The rain grew heavier, soaking through everything. I chose not to stop you. Her voice broke. Because I believed pain would save you. I stepped back. Not from her. From the weight of it. You let me fall, I said. She closed her eyes. I believed you were strong enough to rise. Silence crashed between us. Years of struggle, of hunger, of rebuilding, all shaped by a choice. She never told me. "And my son," she whispered. I looked up. "He was sick that night." Her hand shook again. "I needed help, but I chose you instead." The world narrowed. Just her voice. And the rain. "I lost more than you ever knew." The words settled slowly. Not as blame. As truth. Two people. Both choosing. Both losing. Both becoming something harder. Stronger. But scarred. She opened her eyes. And this time, there was no distance. Only raw honesty. "I made you," she said quietly. "But I also broke you." I swallowed. Because for the first time, I saw it clearly. My success was not just built on pain. It was shaped by her silence, her sacrifice, her impossible choice. I stepped closer, not as a billionaire, not as a man who had one, but as someone who finally understood. "Then why did you stay?" I asked. Her lips parted, but no answer came. Only tea. She held my gaze, rain tracing quiet lines down her face, as if the sky spoke for her. "I stayed," she said slowly, "because leaving you would have been easier." Her voice shook. "And I did not want easy." That answer settled deep. Not comfort, not forgiveness. Something far more demanding. "I watched you rebuild," she continued. "From a distance you never noticed. A faint, broken smile. You think you rose alone." My chest tightened. "I saw the nights you slept on floors again. The deals that fell apart. The moments you almost gave up." Each word pulled something loose inside me. "I followed your story, quietly." I searched her face. "You were there?" She nodded. "In shadows, in crowds, always just far enough." A strange ache filled the silence. "You never came back," I said. "I could not," she replied. "Because if I did, you would lean on me again." The truth landed heavy. "I needed you to become a man. Who could stand without me?" Lightning flickered somewhere distant. Her eyes softened. "And you did?" No pride in her voice. Only relief. Only exhaustion. "But it cost you everything," I said. "And you," she added. We stood there. Two lives rebuilt. On choices neither of us fully understood. "Your son," I began. She looked down. "He remembers you," she whispered. The world shifted again. "He does?" "He remembers a man who once had nothing, but still tried to smile." Her voice cracked. "He does not know the rest." I stepped closer, heart unsteady. "Does he hate me?" She shook her head. "No." A pause. "He became the man you were meant to be sooner than you did." That stung, but it felt deserved. "He works now," she added. Quietly, honestly. Something in her tone changed. Something uncertain. "He turned down help, even when he needed it." I frowned. "Why?" Her eyes met mine. Because what she said next would not just reopen the past. It would change what came after. "He said, if it ever comes from you, he will refuse it." The rain slowed, but the weight in the air grew heavier. Because for the first time, this was no longer just a... The words settled like stone in my chest. He would refuse me. Not out of anger, but something colder. Principle. "I never taught him that," I said. "You did," she replied. "How?" "By leaving." No accusation. Just truth. The rain softened to a mist. "He learned that help should not come with disappearance attached to it." I looked away, because I had no defense. "Where is he now?" I asked. Her fingers tightened around the envelope. Working, studying, carrying more than he should. A familiar ache. I knew that weight. I want to see him. She shook her head. Wanting is not enough anymore. Her voice firm. He is not the boy you remember. I know, I said. No, she answered quietly. You do not. Silence. Then she reached into her bag. Another paper, folded carefully, edges worn. She handed it to me. I hesitated, then opened it. A letter. Not hers. His. The handwriting steady. Controlled. I know who you are. My breath caught. I know what you became. Each line precise. But I also know what you chose. The world narrowed again. Ink pressing harder. You built something powerful. A pause in the writing. But power without presence is just distance with money. My hands trembled. I do not hate you. Relief flickered, then vanished. I simply do not need you. The words cut cleaner than anger ever could. At the bottom, a final line. If you ever come back, come as a man, not a rescuer. I lowered the paper slowly. The city noise returned, but it felt far away. He wrote this when? I asked. Years ago, she said. Then why show me now? Her eyes held mine. Because he is here. Everything inside me stilled. Here? She nodded. In this city, in this moment, closer than you think. My pulse rose. Not fear. Not pride. Something raw. Something uncertain. Does he know I am here? She did not answer immediately, only stepped aside slightly, as if making space for something inevitable, or someone. Footsteps, soft at first, then certain. I did not turn immediately. Some moments demand courage before movement. My fingers tightened around the letter. The paper felt heavier now, as if it carried years in its fibers. Then I heard his voice. Calm. Steady. You read it. Not a question. I turned, and there he was. Not a boy. A man. Straight posture. Quiet eyes. A strength that did not need to announce itself. He looked at me, not with anger, not with longing, but with clarity. The kind that comes from building yourself. Without permission. You came as a man? He asked. His words echoed his letter. I swallowed. I am trying to. A faint shift in his expression. Not approval. Not rejection. Consideration. He stepped closer. Close enough that I could see the parts of me he carried, and the parts he had chosen to leave behind. You look different, I said. So do you, he replied. No warmth, but no coldness either. Just distance measured carefully. I did not come to fix anything, I said. The truth felt fragile. I came to face what I avoided. His eyes searched mine. Longer this time. Deeper. As if weighing something unseen. Behind him, she stood silent. Watching. Not interfering. This was no longer hers to guide. You left, he said finally. Yes. You built everything. Yes. And now you are here. Yes. A pause. Then he nodded slightly. Asking for what? The question landed. Simple, but impossible. I looked at him. Really looked. At the man shaped by absence. By struggle. By her strength. I do not know yet, I said honestly. A flicker. Respect. Or surprise. I could not tell. He stepped even closer now. So close that the past felt like it could reach out and touch us both. Good, he said quietly. Because if you had an answer, it would probably be the wrong 1 inch. Something shifted then. Not resolution. Not forgiveness. but the beginning of something real, uncomfortable, uncertain, earned. He glanced at the envelope in my hand, then back at me. "You gave her everything," he said. I nodded. "It was never mine alone." Another pause. Longer. He exhaled slowly, as if deciding something. Something that would not just affect him, but all of us. "You can walk with me," he said. Not ahead. Not behind. Beside. The words settled deep. Not acceptance, but a condition. A path. I took a step forward. Careful. Aware. But before I could speak, he added one more thing. Something that stopped me completely. "There is something you still do not understand about that night." My breath stilled, because the way he said it meant the truth was not finished yet. And what came next would change everything I thought I had finally faced. He stopped walking. So did I. The street noise faded again, as if the world respected the moment. "What I do not understand?" I asked. He looked at me, not with blame, but with truth finally ready to be spoken. "That night," he said slowly, "I was awake." My heart tightened. "I heard everything." A pause. "I heard your fear, your partner's threat, your silence when you thought no one was listening." He stepped closer. "And I also heard her outside the door." I turned toward her. She lowered her eyes. Not guilt, not shame, only memory. "You were both trying to save something," he continued, "but you were not saving each other." Silence held us together. He exhaled. "I learned something from it all." His voice softened. "Success built on fear collapses, but success built on truth can survive anything." A long pause. Then he added, "I did not refuse you because I hate you." My throat tightened. "I refused because I needed to know who I become without running toward or away from you." Something inside me broke open quietly. Not pain. Understanding. He stepped back slightly. "But I am here now." He looked at both of us. "And I am not a child anymore." A faint smile touched his lips. "Neither of you are who you were that night." The rain had stopped. Only silence remained. Not empty, but full. "I do not want revenge," he said. "I do not want repayment." A breath. "I want honesty from now on." I nodded. Slowly. Completely. For the first time in years. Nothing inside me needed to prove anything. She stepped forward then, her voice gentle. "And what happens next?" she asked. He looked at us both. Not away. Not through. But directly. "We start again," he said. Without secrets. A quiet moment passed. Then he added, "And without pretending the past did not shape us." I felt something release in my chest. Not victory. Not loss. But peace. Hard-earned. Imperfect. Real. He turned slightly. "Walk with me," he said again. And this time, it was not a condition. It was an invitation. We began walking. 3 people, carrying the weight of everything they survived. Not healed. Not perfect. But finally honest. And in that honesty, something stronger than success was born. A future that did not erase the past, but finally understood it. Moral: true success is not built on wealth or power, but on truth, forgiveness, and the courage to face the people we once failed.